Yeah. So first of all, we after the game, Chancellor Roberts and the team dedicated the game and the ball to Mitch, who's been with the team for a long time. Has been a real inspirational person for us, and of course I've only known him since I've been here, but he's been was really an important part of this team and through the years, and so. Just want to make sure that everybody realizes how important he is to us and how he was recognized by the team after the game, and we dedicated the game and the ball to him. And he got on the iPad and talked to us afterwards, and he's fighting, and we're praying for him, and we just all want to wish him well and let him know that how much we're behind him. But as far as the game goes. It was a real good team effort today. Thought we got good plays out of all three units. Our special teams, stopped the fake punt, gave some good field position in the kicking game, field goals, and offensively we got a couple big plays, scored some points, and defensively, the goal line stand was a big series for us, and turned the ball over, scored on defense. So it was overall a good solid effort. Certainly a lot of things we can still work on and do better. There's no question about that. We left some plays out on the field. You give Richmond a lot of credit. That's a good football team. They're very well coached. They got a lot of good players. Unfortunately for them, some of them didn't play today. They had about 4 or 5 of their best players. Were banged up, but that's a good football team. We saw how hard they fought all the way to the end, and give Coach Huseman a lot of credit for the job that he's done there. They're tough. They're a tough football team. So. Good to win, and hopefully we can still continue to improve each week with good solid practices and preparation. So big challenge this week going down to Orlando, but looking forward to it.
On the right, your front row, Coach.
Yes.
Coach, Andrew Jones, Starter 24/7. What do you like that you've seen from your interior defensive front the last couple of weeks? Progress that they've made in the last few weeks.
Yeah, second half of the TCU game, was tough. We kind of got banged around a little bit there. We've done a better job of defeating blockers and holding the line of scrimmage, playing with better technique. Coach Diaco, Steve, Ty Nichols, those guys really done a good job with the front the last couple of weeks, and players have worked hard to improve it. It's really about fundamentals. I mean, there's no secret sauce. I mean, you got to line up and be able to defeat the blocks in front of you, and we did a much better job of that today.
Into the season. Do you think you really know that group really well now?
Oh, I mean, you find out more every week. So, like I said, this is a big challenge for us this week. These guys, Richmond has a really good running game. The quarterback's a big part of the running game. He's about 50% of it in the backs. Today they used a kind of a new formation with their 2 backs and 3 receiver sets instead of the tight end that they had. So they had some different, formations and motion on that caused us to make some adjustments to it. But they did a good job of that, and we tried to adapt to it as quickly as we could. But it's been an improvement every week. But there's still a lot of things we can do better. We've tackled better, which is obviously is a big help too.
Second row, right in the middle.
Hey, Coach, speaking about Demond Jr.'s performance, I mean, he was awesome tonight. 148 yards, the most by a freshman running back in 8 years. What do you have to say about his performance and also his maturity living up to the moment?
He's earned it. He's earned it. Nobody gave him anything. I mean, he started at the bottom of the depth chart and just kind of worked his way up, and he's had some opportunities and has done pretty well with them. But he's made some yards on his own, and that's the big thing. The plays are blocked for a certain amount of yards, whatever they are, 5 yards, 6 yards, 2 yards. And then we'll kind of back it on his own after the first contact or after he can make that first guy miss. And short yardage play was really a good run. We didn't really block it that well. There were 2 unblocked guys in or near the hole, and he made a miss and turned into a long run. So he's doing a good job with the ball in his hands, and we got him on that screen pass. That was a big play too to set up a score. So he's done a good job in running and catching.
Front row on the right here.
Hey, Bill. Noah Weisskopf, Tar Heel 24/7. Out of Jordan's ship, it feels like he can do just about everything on the field for you guys, and it seems like he's established himself as almost a security blanket for Gio. What have you seen out of him? Would you agree with that? And what have you seen out of him sort of these first couple of games, but then just today specifically?
Yeah, Jordan's done a really good job for us in all areas. First of all, he's smart. He can play all positions. He plays the F, the Y, the X, the Z. He's an excellent blocker. He's tough. He can match up on the DBs with his length and his toughness. So in some of the perimeter plays where we get the ball outside, he does a nice job blocking. And he has been a good route runner on a lot of different things, crossing patterns, in cuts, possession patterns, and he's done a good job with the ball in his hands after the catch. So excellent red area receiver. We try to keep him out there as much as we can.
Far right.
Bill, Rob Baxley, Fayetteville Observer. Have you seen enough from the guys the last 2 weeks, offensively, defensively, to where you think they'll have more confidence returning to Power 4 competition since the TCU game?
Well, yeah, I hope so. I mean, we'll see. We'll see next week, but we'll just go through the preparations for Central. I mean, it's another good football team. I know Scott does a good job down there, but we'll have to, gear up for what they do, and they've got a lot of skilled athletes. They get the ball in space a lot, and defensively they got some explosive guys we're gonna have to handle. So, we'll find out.
Second row in the middle.
Yeah, Brian Murphy, WRL. How do you evaluate against competition that you played the last 2 weeks and then try to scale that up for a game against like a Central Florida or TCU? How do you?
Yeah, well, I mean, again, Charlotte and Richmond have a lot of good football players. I mean, those are, those are good programs, and especially Richmond. I mean, they've, been at the top of their division, last several years, and played for championships and all that. So, but look, we just keep working on doing what we can do to work to get better, and I feel like we've made some improvement. But yeah, we'll see what happens next week when we play somebody else. I don't know.
Right next to the coach.
Shelby Swanson with the News and Observer. Coach, just how would you evaluate Gino Lopez and his performance through 3 games, things that you think he's done well so far, maybe some areas for improvement?
Yeah, well, again, I think we're getting more comfortable with him. He's getting more comfortable with us. There are things that, he obviously does really well, and, we want to try to feature those. There's some other things that, we need more work on, and some timing and things like that. But, he's done a good job protecting the ball. He's done a good job making decisions in critical situations for us, and so that's allowed us a chance to win. So, we had a turnover at the end of the game today, but really prior to that, another turnover-free game from the offense, and that goes a long way to winning.
Second row far left.
Adam Smith, inside Carolina. Bill, you had the second half shutout last week at Charlotte. This week, the goal line stand, Bayer with the scoop and score on the fumble return. Would you say that this defense is maybe showing an ability to focus and lock in more throughout the course of a game? Like, what have you seen from you guys defensively to allow you to have some of these second halves where you play pretty well defensively?
Yeah, well, I think it starts in practice. When you make fewer mistakes in practice, the communication's better. There's more awareness and more alertness to those kind of plays. Then you play better. And so, Richmond had they tried to throw the double pass over in front of our bench. They kind of bobbled the ball, but we were on that. It's a double pass. They threw a couple of shots down the field. Dawson made a tremendous catch on that ball down the sideline, but we covered the deep ball pretty well with these guys, and they're an explosive team. They'll cross the 50-yard line. They like to take a lot of deep shots, and so we held up on those. But again, it really comes from consistency in practice. If you practice consistently, then that'll show up in the games, and if you don't, then eventually it won't. So let's keep stressing those things in practice. Our communication's better. Playing with each other, starting to get a better feel and anticipation for the way we can play off each other and so forth, and hopefully it'll continue to improve with each week. That's our goal, is just keep getting better every week.
Left front row coach.
Yeah, Jeremiah Holloway with South Carolina. I wanted to go back to Demond. You talked about what he did tonight specifically. You also mentioned he's one that kind of worked his way up the depth chart and things like that. Observing him in practice and then obviously seeing it take shape in these last couple of games, what makes his style of running, I guess, so effective for you guys?
Well, I mean, he's a strong one-cut runner. There's not a lot of dodging when he gets the ball. He just he hits a crease and can accelerate through it with some power. It's hard to bring down with an arm tackle, and he can step through some soft tackles. So that's his style, and if he can just continue to play to that, if we can create some creases for him. We saw it last week in Charlotte, and again today. I think that that's how he can be effective. I mean, this is we're not talking about Gale Sayers here. I mean, this isn't like a scat back, jitterbug kind of guy, but he can hit it and go, and that's what he does best. So, hopefully we can get him in that situation.
Two more. Front row on the left.
Bill, Aiden Jensen, Tar Heels Wire, going off of Adam's question, focusing on the defense, Melkart really showing he could be a leader on your defensive line. Had a huge day, 2 sacks, he had that fumble recovery. What can you say about his performance and, with Price coming back later, how Melkart can lead that unit and help create success and consistency leading that unit throughout the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think Melkart's been a great story for us. Came to us in Delaware and kind of, wasn't that big of a transfer coming in, but just kept getting better and better and better and better every day all through the spring. He had a good spring. By the end of the spring, he's probably our most productive defensive lineman. Of course, we didn't have Leroy at that point. He was still out. And then he just continued to build on that through the offseason and training and when we got to training camp. So, he's just put a lot of consistency together. And that's a guy that you can count on to come in and work hard and do the right thing almost every single day, every single time. And he's earned a lot of respect and trust from his teammates, obviously, and the defensive coaching staff and certainly the head coach. But it's really been impressive how he's just improved so much in every area: his pass rush, his run defense, his playing space, his ability to stunt and run games. It just keeps getting better and better, and it's the kind of guy that you just love to work with because he continues to improve and just can take those little fine coaching points and continue to move into his, make him be effective for his game.
Last one, second row on the right.
Hey Bill, Jeremiah Tasha with Carl's on SI. Going back to Damon June, what are some things or conversations you have had with him to give him confidence out there on the field?
Yeah, look, the confidence comes from performance. And we can talk confidence all we want, but until you go out there and do it and show that you can do it, it's just it's still not there until you can actually produce it. So. Everybody has confidence in him and try to encourage him and all that, but when you go out there and make those plays in training camp, in practice, and then in practice as we go through the season, get a few more reps, and really that's kind of how you work your way up. Is you get a few plays, you do pretty well with them, you take advantage of them, you get a few more, you get on special teams, you show you can do something there, and that just leads to other opportunities. And so I've had a lot of players like that. The Troy Browns, the Julian Edelmans, the Rex Burkheads, the guys like that they just keep doing stuff and it grows on you and you keep putting more on them and then they keep showing up and producing. So to this point, he's continued to make good progress. We can't let today go to his head. I mean, he's still got a long way to go, but he's got a great future. If he can keep doing the same things he's been doing to get to where he is, then he's got a chance to, grow and develop. If he stops where he is, I don't know where that, I don't know how far that's going to take him, but, so far he's been really persistent about that, and that's what we need.
Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you.
For Gio, let's start with Norman.
Hey Gio, Noah Weisskopf, Tar Heel 24/7. Curious from your vantage point, how would you describe the way that Damon runs, and how fun is it for you to be able to watch him do that?
I think it's really cool watching Damon run. Call him Juju because we're here in Damon. I think Juju runs great. It's fun watching him. You watch him grow. I didn't get to see his spring, but I got to watch him throughout fall camp, watch him grow as a runner, as a player, just get more confident, and he just runs hard and, got hawked down. That's something I'll give him something about, but I think he's doing really good developing.
Let's go to Ryan.
Gio, Rob Baxley, Fayetteville Observer. What have you seen the last 2 weeks from your guys, and do you feel like you gained enough confidence since that TCU game to have a better performance down at Central Florida?
I think it's just chemistry and executing the offense. I mean, at the end of the day, we're a bunch of new guys still gelling together, and I think every day counts. Practice counts, meetings count, just everything we do together counts. So I think as an offense, we're just gelling more and more, and defense are doing a great job already gelling. I think that's just kind of something we're still doing, and I'm pretty confident in everything, though.
It looks like Jordan can run pretty much every route. I don't know if the term possession receiver might not be fair, but can he be a possession receiver for you guys?
I think Jordan is – that's a tough one. I think, possession receiver, I don't want to give him that because then he says –
Move the chains. You get more. You did it in Charlotte last week a couple times. You get over the middle to them. You guys are moving the chains, which hasn't always been a consistent thing.
Yeah, I would say just Jordan's a complete receiver. That's the best way I can say. He's going to do his job, whatever role he needs to be. If he needs to be the outside, if he needs to be the slide, if he needs a crack block on a run, he's going to do it. So I think just Jordan as a player is just a complete receiver. And I think getting the ball in his hands is a good thing. Whatever it takes to give him the ball, it's going to be a good deal.
Does he play longer than 6'2"?
I would say he plays pretty big. It's something we talked about, when I first got here. He said he feels like he needs to play his size more, and I think he's actually done more than that.
Yeah, Gio, coming off of that TCU loss, what did Bill say or coaches say about regaining the kind of stuff that you need to do to be prepared for the schedule that's coming up? Was there a sense in the team that, hey, maybe we're not as good as we thought we were, or maybe, we need to stop, feeding into any hype or stuff like that?
I feel like as a team, we were never, too into the hype. Of course, we have a lot of outside noise, but we try not to listen to it. I think offensively, that's who I can speak on. Offensively, I think, we just didn't show up for the TCU game. The best thing that could happen for us, though, was we had a short week going to Charlotte, get some more confidence going, and just overall, I'm just happy how we're, showing up every day.
Did you get a feeling that things changed after that, whether it was in practice or meetings, like, hey, we've got to get a lot better?
I think funny enough, I hate the term we needed that. You don't want to get, killed in live television, something that we needed. We didn't want to say need, but I think it's just a wake-up call that, we have a lot more we got to do better and just, lock in on practice and just take every day and make the most of it.
So, Jeremiah?
Yeah, you already talked about the games that, Demond had and Ship had. You talked about the offense kind of, gelling. How would you, at this point, I know it's only 3 games in, but if we had to, how would you kind of describe the, identity of this offense? How would you kind of?
I think the identity of the offense is we just want to be smart, tough, and dependable. At the end of the day, we just need to execute our plays, run them at the best that we can, and when we do that, we score and we move the ball. I think when we have mess-ups or, little things that we don't do right, that's when we don't play well. So I think for us, just being simplifying everything. Don't overthink everything and just, do what you're supposed to do, and we'll be fine.
Hey, Gio Grant Sasher, Cardinals on that side. Talk about the defensive performance today, because they seem to get you guys in a lot of great field position, allow you guys to the ball to field with 30, 40 yards. That's a pretty good defense there.
I think our defense is doing a great job. Something I said back in Charlotte was I feel like even the slack that our defense got against TCU, we put them in those situations. We had 3 and out after 3 and out, and we put them in a tough situation. And when you get put on defense that many times and only getting, a minute or 2 minutes of rest, you get fatigued. So I think our defense is doing a great job, and they're doing a great job just with everything that got thrown at them so far.
Hey, Gio, Jeremiah Tacho, Charles on S side. Through the first 3 games, what is your personal assessment on yourself? What are some things that you feel like you can do better and things that you feel like you've done well?
For me, there's a lot I got to clean up. There's reads I'm missing. There's stuff I just got to clean up. Everyone could be a lot better. I got to be better myself. And I think I guess a positive I would say just kind of coming in the offense and being able to talk to everybody and help people when they don't know what they're doing. It's kind of like a little bit of juju, when he's coming in there, just kind of talking to him and being able to talk to everybody. But for me personally, there's a lot I want to clean up, and I'm going to go watch that game and clean up some more stuff after this game.
Should we start with the observer? Going back to Juju, just what has impressed you the most maybe that you've seen in the offseason? Coach just talked about his ability to really work all the way up the depth chart.
I would say for Juju, just showing up every day for him, just never, if he was with the 3s, if he was with the 2s, he was with the 1s, Juju was just showing up. He didn't care who he was going against, if it was basics, it just didn't matter. He was going to run hard, he was going to execute what he was supposed to do, and I think it just kind of shows what happens when you work hard. You're going to get a good situation and get what you deserve, and Juju's doing a great job of that.
Associated Press. Early you guys settled for a few field goals. I guess how important was it to turn that around second half and convert touchdowns?
Just for when we came in at halftime, we were kind of, everybody was kind of disappointed. Feel like we left a lot of plays on the field, and I think just for us, the second half coming in and scoring, defense doing a great job again. I think it was a good confidence booster, but we still, a lot of stuff we need to clean up, and we can do a lot better.
We're going to let Kate take this.
Gio, Newkirk obviously came out there and had that possession, but not that he wants, but you were one of the first people that came over and talked to him. What do you say to him and build him up?
Tori, Tori's awesome. He forgot the motion, didn't see the safety. It was one of those situations. It was big. The first thing I told him was I threw a pick, I think my 4th throw of college football against Southern Miss. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I told him, dude, that happens. You just got to keep playing. Don't let that discourage you. Just showing up in practice every day. There's a reason you got put in. There's a reason you got put in. Don't think this is going to push you down the depth charts or you didn't do anything, like, you're good. I told him, like, just keep being you. It's going to work out. Just keep playing.
What do you say, Gio, when you were telling that?
When I told him, he was like, Tori just said, he was like, I forgot to motion him. I didn't see the safety. I was like, okay, we're naming stuff that we need to fix. But I think, he's a really good kid, and I'm happy to be in the room with him, and it's someone I want to kind of take under my wing, and I feel like I have, and I just love Tori. Tori's awesome.
Good stuff, Gio.
Appreciate y'all.
Jordan Shep, Aiden Jensen, Tar Heels Wire. I mean, you and Gio really showed a strong connection tonight. Caught both of his touchdown passes. Really seemed to be a good spark in the passing game. Talk about y'all's chemistry and how that was such a crucial role in the victory today.
I feel like the biggest thing with us is just trust. I trust him, he trusts me. There's times in practice where he throws me some balls that maybe he shouldn't technically throw, but he just trusts me and I'm able to go make plays for him. And I feel like that really starts with just our connection off the field. That's one of my closest friends, one of my best friends. I talk to him the most. My family knows his family. I talked to his family just last night in the hotel. I spent some time down there with them and was able just to chop it up with them. And that's like a brother to me. So I know he wouldn't put me in any bad predicaments or situations. So I know if the ball's in the air, he's trusted me to go get it. And I feel like if I let him down, I would be letting him down, and also the rest of the UNC family. So I feel like our connection is really a lot deeper than football.
Hey, Noah Westcott, Tar Heel 24/7. Bill, Coach Belichick, and Gio both sort of said that they feel like you can do everything on the field. There's not just one thing. You can kind of do it all. How comfortable and confident, especially compared to last year, how comfortable do you feel now when you step out there every play and being able to do what you do?
First off, that comes from Belichick. That means a lot. Gio too, but just the fact, I feel like one of the bigger things for me was really just my preparation. I feel like I've been working so hard. So not even just me, just us, as a team, we've worked so hard from January. It's we go out there and it's the preparation that we had. Coach McGee keeps us really prepared with the small indicators or coverages and stuff like that. And I feel like we see it so much in practice, and the coaches do a great job of really putting it out in front of us. We'll have practices where they're wear their number, the people's numbers and stuff like that. So we're used to seeing them in different spots and stuff. So just all that recognition and stuff, I feel like the preparation that they pour into us is really the key to my success. And really you have a coach like Coach Belichick, Coach McGee, Coach Lombardi, Coach Means, Coach Friend, the whole offensive staff, and then Belichick on top of that. It's just you're gonna put you in a place to succeed. So I feel like with them, all my success is just the hard work and really just everything that they poured into me. And Coach, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Michael?
Hey there, Jordan. What does the turnaround process look like in the next couple of days? All due respect to Richmond, but at UCF next week is going to be a step up in competition. So how long do you let yourself feel good about this one before getting ready for the Knights?
We're going to go home. I know a lot of boys will go home. We all play the game together, go home, get on 2K. Most of us go to church in the morning, and we're right back Sunday, right back tomorrow. And then tomorrow we'll watch the tape, wrap it up, and then we'll have another meeting and just an intro to UCF. So, I feel like it's not really, I wouldn't look down upon UCF, not UCF, Richmond. I feel like the score didn't show how tough of a team they were. Richmond was definitely a very tough team. They played physical. They're a very fundamentally sound team, and they didn't make a lot of mistakes. We just went out there and played just a better game, So, I feel like I wouldn't look down on them at all. But then you look at UCF. UCF has great talent, great coaching. I know a couple of the boys over there, and it's going to be a good game. So, like I said, just sleep on it tonight, go to church in the morning, right back at it tomorrow.
Brian? Yeah, Jordan. Two quick ones. This week, Coach McGee said that they're looking for dependable players, and counted you as one of the most dependable. What does that mean in the context of this program when they say you're a dependable player?
This program is built off being tough, smart, and dependable, and I feel like that's also something that my high school we kind of focused on, is being tough, smart, dependable, and that I feel like my high school did a great job in shaping me in that way, just to be tough, understand everything, know every position, and just making those plays on third and fourth down when it need to be made, So I feel like that's something I really try and pride myself on, and then you get here, and that's something where one of the greatest coaches of all time is telling you he wants you to be tough, smart, dependable. That's just what you got to do. So I feel like to me it's just important just knowing that my team can rely on me to know I'm gonna be in the right spot, make the plays, make the catch. It might not be a catch. I might need to pick up a block for Juju to go score, Ben, Bullet, a little bubble screen, anything like that. Just knowing what to do, how to do it, and doing it consistently is also just the biggest thing.
TCU being a wake-up call. Did you get the sense in the locker room among your teammates that was something of a wake-up call?
Yeah, for sure. You get embarrassed on national television, that's going to leave a bad taste in your mouth for the rest of the season. Like, I mean, I don't feel like we're still over. I feel like, of course, we're flushed it, it's past us and everything like that, but that's something that, like, all right, like, these were 2 good wins back to back, but let's not forget what happened when we kind of, like, let our guard down, you know? So I feel like that's something that, you know, like, it's good. I feel like it's good that we had that and we have it early. You know, you'd rather get the brakes beat off you early than late in the season, you know? Now we can get that confidence going, just keep going up and up every week.
Hey Jordan, Jeremiah Tacho, Charles on that side. How would you compare yourself? It's still early in the season, of course, but what are some things that you've done compared to last season to this season over the off season that's helped you prepare for games such as this where you scored 2 touchdowns?
Coach Moses, the weight room, the conditioning, the speed training that we're doing. Coach Mo does a great job, and just like I feel like my body's changed over like this whole. Like, last time we did our DEXA scan, I put on I think it was like 14, 15 pounds of muscle in like the last like a 3-4 month span. Like the stuff that Coach Moses is doing and Amber's doing for us is amazing. And I mean, my transition, like my body transformation wasn't even the biggest one. Like we had guys that were really putting on like 17, 18 pounds of muscle, and it's just like the way that Coach Mo came in and really just told us this how it's going to be, this is what we're going to do, and we all bought into it. So I mean, I feel like that's the biggest thing for all of us, and we're just all getting bigger, faster, stronger, and also Coach Bill stressing the tough, smart, dependable. So those are all things that we're just focusing on and trying to build off of.
Shelby Swanson with the News Observer. I'm curious, just from your perspective, what impressed you the most about Juju's performance?
Man, I'm so proud of Juju. I told him this during right at, yeah, he's over there. I told him I'm proud. He just, you know, like coming in, like we had Bullet was a great returning back. Ben Hall was a great back at Michigan, transferred in. Hoodie was a great back, but then you have a freshman like Juju that's able to come in and make plays like that. And I told him after one of his long runs, I was like, yeah, you got Hawk. You know, he got walked down, but I was like, man, I'm proud of you, man. Like that's a great game. You know, like the stuff that he's doing, the work that he's put in, like that's not overseen by anybody. He's put in a lot of work. His body's changed a lot. He's really came in and bought into the program. So I don't feel like to none of us it's a surprise. Like it was just a matter of when it's gonna happen.
Last one for Adam. Chip, did you have a little bit of a point to prove today? Because last week in Charlotte, didn't see the ball as much as you might have would have liked, seemed like. I mean, was there any extra motivation coming into today after the game in Charlotte?
Nah, not at all. Not at all. I'm just happy we won. You know, we got away with the win at Charlotte. I could have had no catches. I feel like I could have played a key part in the blocking game. You know, whatever my team needs me to do, that's what I'm gonna do. And I feel like that plays into the tough, smart, dependable. You know, every week you're not gonna get 10, 12 balls. That's just playing receiver, you know. So, I mean, that's nothing I'm dwelling on. It definitely didn't happen on purpose. The ball just didn't come my way. Things happen, move on, just make plays when you get the opportunity to, you know. Just next play mentality. That's all it is.
Perfect. Good stuff, Jordan.
Appreciate y'all.
The sting from the first game, the way it played out, and that there was all this hype and everything kind of went the way it did. Do you think it's important that you guys don't forget that sting and sort of feel a little bit of it to fuel you moving forward?
Yeah, you know, we got to move on from the loss. We felt that in week 1, and we moved on from it, but we never forget that feeling, and we don't want to go back to it, so we just work.
Would you say that you guys have steps you've taken in the last 2 weeks to distance yourself
Yeah,
from that?
exactly. We it was a mentality shift in that locker room when guys was just like, you know, we got to buckle up. You know, it can't be X, Y, and Z. We just got to go out there and just have fun and play and not be tense. I feel like that game we were a little too tense, and you know, it just led to one thing to another. So, I mean, guys went out there, cut loose these last 2 weeks, and it was nothing but, you know, you see the results. Yes, sir.
Jeremiah Holloway in South Carolina.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man. I got to ask you about, obviously, the 62-yard touchdown. Can you kind of break down what that was for us? Because, you know, part of us watching it, we're trying to figure out, you know, who initiated the fumble. So can you break down just what that play was?
Definitely. You know, I was just trying to get to the ball. You know, CJ was there first. CJ hit the guy, and it was a little loose, so you give CJ that, and I just, as it was falling out, I just took it and scored. So, yeah.
Coach Honduras, the state press. The fourth and goal,
yes.
Stop the quarterback. How important was that, especially after maybe momentum?
Definitely. You know, every time they get in the red zone, they don't have to score. You know, anytime you know, they get down there. It's our job to stop them, no matter if the offense did, if we did it, you know, if special teams did it. We have to stop that team, whoever we're playing, in that red zone. Nobody's allowed to score down there. So every time they get in that red zone, it's important to stop those guys, no matter who we're playing. So.
Kai, what would you say? Adam Smith with South Carolina.
Yes,
Good to meet you.
Yes, sir. Nice to meet you too.
What would you say has been a key for this defense the last 2 weeks in sort of playing to the finish line?
Yeah.
Like it seems like like last week you had the second half shutout to Charlotte. This week you almost shut them out in the second half again until the very end.
Yeah.
Has there been like a better focus, you would say, or what would you attribute to getting to the finish line?
Like I said, it's just a process throughout the week, and what we do throughout the week that gets us these results. You know, if we go in there and BS on Tuesday and then Wednesday, what you're gonna see on Saturday is, you know. So it's just our process throughout the week. You know, I feel like this week and the week before, even that week, it was just, you know, we practice hard. So we just gonna continue to practice hard and continue to elevate. It's only up from here. So.
Hey, kind of going on with Adam's question, by the way, great session at Charles on this. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
This is the first time in 13 years, I believe it was since 2012, where the North Carolina defense has held an opponent to no touchdowns. When you hear a stat like that, what does that mean to you and the rest of the guys in the locker room?
We just gotta keep on going. You know, it's not the end. It's still early in the season, and we're looking forward to do that to all of our opponents. We just want to shut them out and just play hard football, hard-nosed football. And that's our goal, is just to continue to elevate, like I said before. Yeah.
Jeremiah Tacho, Charles on that side, nice to meet you. What are some of the things that Bill Belichick, Steve Belichick has told the defense that has elevated you all to take it to another level?
I mean, we hear a lot from Coach Belichick every day, so I mean, it's nothing I could like specifically point out. But one thing I do know is when we walk in this facility, we are prepared, we are ready to go. And that's all. He just makes sure we know what to do. We know our job. We know our responsibility. Like Ship said earlier, tough, smart, dependable. You know, we need those kind of guys in the room. So.
Shelby Swanson with the News Observer. Great game. Congrats on the win. I'm curious, it was a little bit rough stretch kind of in the middle of the game with 2 really long drives for Richmond that just kind of kept extending. What do you think was maybe going wrong there for you guys, and how were you able to adjust after that?
We gotta win on third downs. And just be more physical, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing that they do. It's everything. It's on us. So this week we just got to work on, you know, just stopping the run, being more physical, you know, getting off the field on third downs, things like that, the little things that could take us to the next level. So.
Alexander Jones, the Daily Target. How would you kind of characterize the shifts in the defense's mindset coming into this game, as well as how would you characterize its identity?
You know, people probably thinking we beat down on, you know, Richmond, but that's a good football team we just played. Really great football team, and it's hard to win. No matter where you are, it's hard to win. And so every game, the mentality must be go dominate no matter who you're playing. So coming into this game, you know, we still practice hard. We still did those things. So, you know, we got to keep that mentality of just applying pressure to whoever we're playing and foot on the neck.
Last one for Casey inside Carolina. Kai, Melcart had a great game today with 2 sacks and a fumble recovery. What have you seen from him recently, and also this defensive line? It seems like it's kind of getting here.
Yeah, that's, you know, Melcart, Jersey guy. I'm really excited for him. I'm so happy. I watch how hard he worked in this offseason. It's just amazing. He's one of those guys, when I got here, you know, he asked me where I'm from, Jersey, and that Jersey connection, just we got right to it. But he pushes everybody. He's a great leader, great, you know, just a person you want to be around every day. And his defensive line, you know, they're great. You know, you got Fleazy, you got all those other guys on the D-line, CJ, Xavier, and those guys, they go in there and they work. Sometimes they make me right. Sometimes, you know, it's just the connection is there. You know, we spend a lot of time together, and, you know, those guys are going to be great. I just can't wait to see how we do this season. Yeah.
Bill also mentioned how the communication has really been a lot better on defense. Do you feel like that's true between linebackers and
It's true. You know, that's all we work on in practice is our communication. You know, that's football. We talk. It's just communication. You don't got no signals, no communication. Good luck. So, yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good one. It was nice meeting you guys. Thank you so much.
So Coach Belichick said that you were at the bottom of the depth chart. How far? What does that mean? How many guys were in front of you, and what was the feeling like when you're kind of passing guys by? And did you sense that you were passing guys by?
That's a good question. You don't really focus on things like that. You just, play your game, stay down, try to stay consistent day by day. It's a good competitiveness in the room with other guys like Bullet and Hoodie and Ben. Just having them to push me every day to be able to showcase this stuff. It just felt good, but once you're all in the room with each other, trying to fight for a spot, you don't really get into all those type of things.
Follow up. He pointed it out for a reason.
Yes, sir.
He's trying to articulate, I think, what he sees in you since you got here. What is it about you that you can leapfrog guys that quickly where you go from bottom of the depth chart to where you are now?
I feel like it's just, staying consistent, coming in every day wanting to get better. You with a bunch of guys every day, you see other guys getting better, climbing up on the depth chart. It just makes you want to, be even hungrier to showcase what you got. Yes, sir.
Hey, Noah Westcott, Tar Heel 24/7. I'm curious, if I told you before this game that this is the day you would have, what would your reaction to that have been?
Man, I would say you was lying, man. But it just felt good being out there to, playing with the guys, finally coming together and just giving a little glimpse of all the work and stuff we've put in. But it felt good. I wouldn't have believed you, though, one bit.
Was it almost a sense of satisfaction to be able to see, all the work that you put in behind the scenes to be able to finally showcase it and sort of break through in a sense, literally and figuratively?
It felt good, but you got to give credit to the guys that put you in the position. So, going on the week, getting those reps with the O-line, the quarterback, and, fitting on blocks with the receivers and stuff, just things like that just brought it all together.
Brian?
Yeah, two quick ones. How do you spell Juju?
J-U-J-U.
J-U-J-U.
Yes, sir.
And then secondly, you committed, I believe, to the old staff.
Yes.
What was that process like? And there's a whole new staff here. As AJ said, you were at the bottom of the depth chart. When Coach Brown left, Coach Belichick came, was there talk about going somewhere else and all that stuff?
Nah. Being a North Carolina kid, you always wanted to play for this. So when Bill did come, it kind of just felt like, okay, here's another obstacle you have to go through. But, you stay down, stay consistent, and trust the process and trust the man above with whatever he wants to happen for you. And you go with that. First of all, you just want to give credit to the O-line for, putting you in a position to have those type of runs. But as far as, going north and south, that's the fastest way to get somewhere. So when you're trying to score, you just put your head down and run.
Adam Smith with Inside Carolina. Juju, what would you say the learning curve of playing running back in college has been like for you here early on? I mean, you had a nice game the other night at Charlotte, but it looked like you might have made a mistake or two on a screen or some other things. What has that been like? And has it been important just to sort of keep your head up or keep your head down and just keep grinding with all the stuff that's getting thrown at you?
Yes, sir. Like you said, just being able to, keep your head up and play that next play mentality. Growing as a player, you take a lot from an experienced staff, so just different aspects of the games, different situations that we go through in practice and stuff, just kind of prepare you for the game. So, yeah.
Hey, Juju, Grant Sasha, Tar Heels on SI. Speaking that you are a North Carolina kid, what does it mean for you to play on the Carolina View, to play in front of your friends and family right here at Keaton Stadium, and also you were the first freshman to rush for as many yards since 2017. We hear those type of stats. What do you have to say about just this night overall?
It feels good, but like I said, you wouldn't be able to do those type of things without the players around you. So giving credit to the O-line for putting me in those positions, to the play caller for opening up those opportunities, the quarterbacks and the receivers for picking on their blocks. But being a North Carolina kid, it just feels good to represent your state. But it's not a one-man game. You play with all 11. So yeah.
Shelby Swanson with the News and Observer. Again, congrats on the game. You were one of, if I'm correct, 5 running backs in the last game at Charlotte. Is there any sort of discussion ahead of this one of, okay, you're gonna, earn the start, get a, majority of kind of plays here? And if so, what was that discussion with the coaching staff like?
Nah, not really. Just, coming in every week, competing in practice, trying to, get your best reps and stuff. But at the end of the day, the best man's going out. So it's not like a fuss or argue when those type of things come up. But, you just want to do what's best for the team.
Just a quick follow-up, just to a question earlier that somebody asked about, the learning curve and everything. What would you say, if you could pinpoint one thing, is the biggest thing that you've learned through, the 3 games so far?
Probably just being more aware of short yardage situations and stuff like that. When you need to scrape for those yards or when you have to make a move and stuff. Just trying to move the sticks.
Yeah, you've shown the ability to break tackles. Have you always been able to do that? And how are you able to do that? How would you describe your running style? What makes you able to do that?
Wouldn't be able to do it without the line, but again, just knowing that north and south gets you to where you got to go is the quickest way. So, when you're trying to score, you just put your head down and run as hard as you can. Don't let nothing stop you.
Did you obviously watch Marion Hampton? He had a way of getting a lot of yards after the contact,
Yes, sir.
As you have been able to do.
Yes, sir. Watching him, as a recruit, it just gave me something to, chase for and try to be like. Yes, sir.
Damon, obviously you had a great career at Jacksonville. When you got here, what was kind of your welcome to Carolina moment where I'm a college running back now, where you were like, I got a ways to go?
First week in pass, you got that pass pro pickup drill, got put on my butt, but it's part of the game. That was just my welcome to college moment, but I thank the guys for that because it's shaped me into being the guy I am now.
Yeah, thinking back to that first moment getting put on your butt out there and first time in pads, what kind of goes through your mind now, seeing how far you've come and the performance you had today?
Just come in day to day with a new goal and something to focus on and getting better when you hit the practice field and translate that to the game.
Hey, Damon, Ryken Fuller, Tar Heel 24/7. It sounds like from Jordan you might have caught a little bit of a ribbing for not getting chased down on that first big run. How did it feel to then in the fourth quarter, break one off and actually end it in the end zone?
When you just stay consistent and keep your head down and focus on one goal, those things like that will open up for you.
Coach Belichick mentioned on the short one that you broke for the 50-yarder that play was really only blocked to try to pick up the first down.
Yeah.
What happened in the hole there? Did you break a tackle?
Just seeing the gap, hit the gap. But the O-line did their job in creating that crease for me, so I give them all the credit and the play calling that set it up.
Time for 1 or 2 more. Let's go to Jeremiah.
Hey, Juju, Jeremiah Tacho, Charles on S side. You were on the bottom of the depth chart. Is there anything that either a friend, family member, a past coach has told you from before that has helped you and stuck with you up until now to help you have games like today?
I think it's just kind of within being your own self-motivator, having like those thoughts that you could do like what you can do. So that's really all I can say about it.
And last one for Aiden here.
Devon Jr., Aiden Jensen, Charlie's Wire. I was just looking up. I know you had that historic 6-touchdown game against Conley last year, and now your first 100-yard college game today. How does today's moment compare to that, or where does today's big game for you rank on your list of all-time football achievements?
They all feel pretty good, but today just being able to come together with the guys after it being so long for us, being able to showcase all the stuff that we work on. So today definitely is one of those highs, but like I said, without the other 10 guys, it wouldn't have happened.
Thanks so much, everybody.
Appreciate you guys. Yes, sir.